Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Stack Sats Show, your beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. Only Bitcoin, no poop coins, no yield products, no trading. Just buy Bitcoin, take custody of that Bitcoin, and hold on for dear life. HODL your Bitcoin. That's it. Pretty simple. That is the formula. If you came here to figure out how inflation keeps you poor, we're going to talk about that right now before we get into the main section of the show. Before we do any of our segments, we're going to go right into how inflation keeps you poor and how to fight back. Okay? So real easy. Well, it's not real easy, but we're going to jump into it right now. So what is inflation, first of all? How do you get to know what inflation is if you don't get educated on that in the school system, right? Inflation is... What they want you to believe is that inflation happens when people are prosperous and they spend lots of money. But that's not what inflation is. What causes inflation is the expansion of the money supply. Okay? When the money supply expands, so when you have a product, when you have a thing, right? Let's say I have this Bitcoin, right? It's not a real Bitcoin, it's just a little representation of a Bitcoin. Let's say I have this Bitcoin and it's worth we'll say 1% of the money supply. That's how much this Bitcoin is worth. It's fake coin. Okay, it's just a fake coin. You know, let's do something else because that's too confusing. Let's say this product, this Light Cube product, is worth 1% of the money supply in existence. Okay, so what's one? And let's say that the money supply in existence is $100. Okay, so while the money supply is $100, 1% of 100 is $1, right? So this little flashlight, this little product, this could represent lots of things. It could represent a property, it could represent Bitcoin, it could represent another asset like a stock, right? As long as that as long as that thing is worth that percentage of the money supply, the price will be the same, right? But what if we increase the money supply to, instead of 100 paper money, right? There's now 200 pieces of paper representing the money supply. And so now the money supply has grown by 100%, right? So this product or this property or this thing still costs 1% of the supply of the money supply, okay? And so now this product, this thing that didn't get any better, it's still the same model, the same version, and it still works just the same. Actually, it works a little bit. It should be worth a little bit less because now it's not even new. It's scuffed up, and maybe the battery doesn't charge as long as it used to. Okay, but now all of a sudden, this product that's still worth 1% of the money supply is now going to cost $2, right? So does that mean that this product went up in value? Does that mean that this product went up in value 100%? No, it just means that the money supply expanded. So now in order to buy the same things, you have to pay what seems to be more money, but it's still the equivalent percentage of the money supply. So as the money supply increases, you will continue to feel things getting more and more expensive because the hard assets, things that you can't make, things that you can't just print out of paper, like a product or like a Bitcoin. Or like real estate, those things will reflect the amount of paper money you need to buy those things, right? So when your house goes up in paper money value, it doesn't mean your house is better. It just means that there's more money supply in the system, and since each dollar represents a smaller portion of the percentage of the pie, you need more of those dollars to buy the same stuff that you needed to buy in the past. So my product still costs 1% of the money supply, and as the money supply increases, so does apparently the price of things, because they are making more physical pieces of paper or digital pieces of paper. And when they do that, the only way to give those new pieces of paper value is by taking some of the value from the existing pieces of paper. Okay, like we said, we started with 100 pieces of paper representing the economy, and then we boosted it up to by 100%. So now there's 200 pieces of paper representing the whole value of the economy. So now things are still going to require the same percentage of that paper to sell at, right? So in essence, it doesn't matter how much they print. What's going to end up happening is the more and more they print, the more and more the prices will seem to inflate, will seem to go up, because the prices of things are still going to want to reflect that percentage of the economy that they're worth. Okay, so what that is inflation. That's how it works, and how it keeps you poor is when the money supply expands, and you're using that money as a unit of account, you're getting debased as the supply increases, because when the supply increases, in order to represent the same amount of percentage that you own, so it's not, let's say you own 1% of the money supply, and the money supply is $100. Okay, when the government increases the money supply from 100 to 200, they don't give you another dollar to represent your 1% of the economy. No, you keep your 1% that you had to work hard for. They print another 100% worth of dollars or paper money, right? And now your $1 that used to represent 1% of the money supply, and now only represents 0.5% of the money supply. So your $1 is 0.5% of the money supply, because when they print money, they don't give you money to make you whole. They just keep taking that from you. Okay, so that is how they keep you poor with inflation, and it's happening every single day, whether you believe it or not. It's happening. It's like you can believe in gravity or not. It's still gonna keep you on the floor. It's still gonna keep you on the floor, right? It still keeps you. It's gonna keep you from flying, right? Whether you believe in mathematics or not, math is still math. And whether you believe that fire burns you or not, it's still gonna burn you. Okay. Here it is. They're printing money at a faster rate because they have to print themselves out of debt. And when they print themselves out of debt, they're devaluing the money that you're holding to take some of that value to be able to pay back some of that debt, but they're still not going to be able to pay that debt. It's called a debt spiral. Okay, they're not making enough revenue to pay back their own debt. So when you hold the value of your hard work in dollars, in any kind of paper money, in any country's paper money, then you are in essence lending money, lending the value, lending your hours of hard work to somebody that's gone insolvent, and you are basically choosing to stay poor, right? As that Michael Saylor meme now says, like, what do you call people who save in fiat money? What do you call people who save in dollars, pesos, bolivares? What do you call people that save in paper money? You call them poor, right? And that's not, it sounds like a total troll, but it's just a reality, right? That if you're not saving in Bitcoin, you're letting the system steal your value from you, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, that is how inflation keeps you poor, and how you can fight back. The way you fight back is you take the value that you earn so hard with your hard labor, or regular labor if it's light labor, your work, your job, your business, whatever way you do to generate income, generate revenue. You take some of that, you buy Bitcoin with it, you take that Bitcoin off of the exchange into self-custody, and now you're styling, because now, instead of the money printer stealing from you, now the money printer is actually making you more rich. Okay? It's weird, right? Now that your value is stored in an asset like Bitcoin, since you can't make more Bitcoin than 21 million, it's a fixed amount of Bitcoin. That means that in order for somebody to get more Bitcoin, they have to actually go and buy it, right? They have to mine it, okay? And even the Bitcoins that are getting released through mining, those are not new Bitcoin. They're just unreleased Bitcoin from the capped supply of 21 million, okay? So anyway, that's how you protect yourself from this inflation. Whatever value you want to keep outside the grasp of inflation, you put it into a different asset, which would be like a home or something like that, right? But a home has what we call leaks. It leaks value. Okay, if you take $100 million and you buy a home, you're gonna have to pay about 8% of that in transfer taxes and just paying realtors to do the transaction for you and all that stuff. And you're gonna have to keep paying for that every year in taxes, and you're gonna have to keep paying insurance on that building, right? And whatever maintenance. So that $100 million becomes, I don't know, $750,000 pretty quick, right? And over the span of a couple, I would say 10, 15 years, you might have to spend just as much just to keep the building. And in the end, if you don't pay your taxes or able to or or they change the rules on you, some rule changes in the state or the city or even the country that make it limit the way you can use that property, or limit the way you can use that property, or for whatever reason they decide that they're going to build a railroad down the street or through your property, then is that really yours? No, they can just eminent domain you and take your property and pay you whatever they feel your home is worth or your property is worth at the time when they seize it, right? So is it a better investment to buy real estate? I would say, I don't know, maybe. I don't know. What do you think? But on the other hand, you take your value, you put it into Bitcoin, and you know what you pay for? You pay, depending on where you buy it, the transaction fee for actually like purchasing it on an exchange, which could range from like 1% to like, I don't know, 2% maybe, right? And then you also pay the Bitcoin transaction fee on the Bitcoin network to transfer your stash from your exchange or from wherever you bought it to your self-custody wallet. And once you have it in your self-custody wallet, that's going to be like maybe, I don't know, $2 or $3, $4, maybe even $10 max, right? If the network is not that congested. On top of that, once you pay those fees, which could add up to a whopping, I don't know, on a bad day, let's say $20, right? For moving that $1 million into Bitcoin, right? You take that Bitcoin, you take the $1 million worth of Bitcoin, right? Well, and you keep it on your self custody wallet for Bitcoin, and guess what? There's no additional fees just to hold it. You don't have to pay taxes on it every year just because you have it, like you do real estate, right? You don't have to pay a broker a percentage of what you're transferring just to have it moved, right? And when it comes time to liquidate, if you wanted to sell it and you wanted to liquidate, you don't have to go and get a realtor involved. You can just liquidate part of it. I don't recommend you do, but if you wanted to, it's a lot easier. You don't have to have any other. Yes, you do have to have some third party involved, the person you're going to sell to or the exchange you're going to transfer to, but you don't need a realtor on both sides and an escrow company and all this other stuff. You're still going to have to pay capital gains tax, which is normal, right? But still, if you choose not to sell it and not to move it, there's no leakage, is what I'm trying to say here. There's no leakage. There's no maintenance fee like on a bank account where you have some money in there and slow and steady it just starts to disappear through fees like a monthly fee, a yearly fee, or maintenance charge, whatever, right? And next thing you know, you thought you had some money in the bank account, and now you owe money because there's fees or something that you haven't even, and it's an account you haven't even looked at, right? It's just weird. So buy Bitcoin, take custody of that Bitcoin, and you'll be set. That is how you beat inflation. That is how you beat inflation. That is how you beat inflation. That keeps you poor. That's how you fight back. Okay. All right. That's it. That's what I got for the beginning of it. I think that's a good opener. I think we're going to start doing these little openers going forward. That way, if somebody is new to the show and wants to see what we're about, that is kind of what we're about. And then we're going to jump into the main sections of the show a little bit after that. That way, it makes things a little bit easier to watch on somebody that's new to the show. Okay. All right. All you guys that are here, welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in. Round of applause from a live studio audience from Mr. Carlos Jaramillo. Leonard, what up, Leonard? And BTC Backpacker in the house. Also, round of applause for BTC Fanny Packer. Garrett G, what up, Garrett? Fine times. Good to see you in here. Fine time seeing you in here. I got J-Dub in the house. What up, J-Dub? Let's go. We call them poor, right, Carlos? Oh, my gosh. All right, so let's jump into the first segment of the show that we like to call the Sat Stripes. Yeah. Today, the price of Bitcoin is $69,110.79. Man, we've been hanging out at 69 for a while. It's been crazy. Okay, at 69,000, you can buy 1,446 Satoshis right here for a single dollar. What is a Satoshi? A Satoshi is a fraction of a Bitcoin. A Bitcoin is made up of 100 million Satoshis, just like a dollar is made up of 100 pennies. If you can save up 100 pennies, you have a dollar. If you can save up 100 million Satoshis, you have a Bitcoin. Yay! Now, this is not a real Bitcoin. This is fake. Okay, it's just a representation of a Bitcoin. Don't go Amazon and buy a $69,000 prop. Okay, if you want to buy this Bitcoin right now, I'll give it to you half off. I'll give it to you for $35,000. Reach out to me, and this Bitcoin could be yours. Oh my God. Just kidding, that's a joke. It's a joke, okay? Don't ever buy a physical Bitcoin. There's no such thing. All right. Let's say you're walking down the street, though, minding your own business. You look down, you see a penny, you pick it up, and all the day that penny could buy you 14.48 Satoshis at today's price. What a world. When we started the show, we were able to buy 40 Satoshis for a penny, and now we're down to 14 Satoshis for a penny. One day soon, we will get less than 10 Satoshis for a penny, and that's going to be cool. When eventually we get 1 penny for 1 Satoshi, we hit penny Satoshi parity, that's when Bitcoin will be worth $1 million per coin. Isn't that crazy? It's crazy. Anyway, it's crazy to say, it's crazy to think about it, but 5-10 years ago, people were probably saying it'd be crazy for Bitcoin to be worth $1,000, right? People were probably saying, it's crazy. I think I'll never get to $10,000, right? And now, is it crazy to say that Bitcoin might one day be $1 million a coin? Damn, right? Anyway, that's a little food for thought. Okay, we're going to jump into the next segment of the show that we like to call Why We Stack. And we kind of hinted a little bit to what it's going to be about. I'm just going to keep this one short because we already kind of covered it. Why we stack. All right, keep it simple today. We stack because saving in Bitcoin is like giving yourself a perpetually increasing retroactive raise for the hours you've already worked for as long as you hold that Bitcoin that represents those hours. Does that make sense? If it doesn't make sense to you, please put it in the chat. This is a very difficult concept to understand. It's a very dense statement, but it's true. The longer you hold Bitcoin, the more purchasing power you'll have for the time that it took you to earn that value that you transferred into Bitcoin. Okay? On the flip side, saving in dollars is like giving yourself a perpetually decreasing raise for the hours you've already worked for as long as you hold that dirty paper money. Because all it is paper. Okay? And they can make more of it willy-nilly. And the more of it they make, the less your paper is worth. Okay? Don't save your earnings, your prosperity, your purchasing power in paper money. Okay? They're just pieces of paper. Okay? Different countries have different pieces of paper with different printing on it. And it's only worth what people believe it's worth. It's paper. Okay? It's just paper. It's just paper, guys. So, even if you put a dolphin on that, put a dolphin on there, that's fine. Dolphin. Put a very cool looking seal, right? Print it vertical instead of horizontal. Put some politician's face on it because maybe he's like a famous politician in the country. I don't know who that is. You say his name on there? Oh yeah, Francisco de Miranda. Yeah, see? He did something cool, I guess, right, for the country, right? Put a serial number to make it look more official, right? Put a magnetic strip in there to make it less, to make it hard for people to counterfeit, but I will say to make it difficult for other counterfeiters, for non-government sanctioned counterfeiters to counterfeit it. But if you're part of the government, it's okay for you to print as many as you want. You can counterfeit them as much as you want because that's part of the job, right? So that's why we stack, guys. We stack Satoshis. We stack fractions of a Bitcoin to slow and steady make ourselves wealthier and be able to exit the system that keeps us poor. The paper money system that keeps us poor. That's why we stack. Okay? So, that's it. That's what we stack. We'll do a round of applause from a live studio audience. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. Roman, do you mind if I share your channel in Capital Club? Luke Belmore, I think more guys. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Fine times, that would be fantastic. Just don't get in trouble. I don't need you to get like a bad vibe from other people because you're sharing my stuff, but I do appreciate you sharing my stuff. So if they allow sharing and you want to do me that huge favor, that'd be fantastic. Thanks for doing that, Fine Times. Cool. Alrighty, so that is why we stack. And, I really believe that you got to walk the walk, not just talk the talk. So here on the show, since May 22nd, 2023, we've been stacking sats Monday through Friday. And let's check out what our stack is doing right now in our stack recap. Man, was an old day Rambo. Wait, what? Oh, got it. Let's see. Francisco says, Francisco de Miranda played a role in the American, French, and Italian American revolutions. Man was an old days Rambo. Dang, that's crazy. That's wild. That's cool. Well, respect, dude. Respect. Right. So, let's see. Today, our stack for only 2024. Because we're tracking our stack in two different ways. We're tracking it for the whole lifespan of the show, and we're also tracking it for just 2024 to give you guys that are new to the show, to give you guys that are new to Bitcoin, a little bit of hope that you can do it too. When you see these big numbers, kind of big numbers, you might say to yourself, dang, I can't put away $3,000. Well, you can if you just do a little bit at a time, okay? You don't have to do $20 like we're doing. You can do $5, you can do $10. It's just whatever is measurable for you that can be done in a way that's not going to put you in financial distress, right? Put away some money that you're going to be wasting on stuff like coffees, like, I don't know, haircuts. I felt so guilty for getting a haircut, guys. But I cut my two kids' hairs. So I felt justified because I saved the money that would cost me to cut their hair, and I got my haircut. I don't know. But still, I could have stacked a little harder. Anyway, you can do away with some of the things you're spending money on right now that you don't need to spend money on. Analyze your situation. Sell some of the things you don't use anymore. Maybe some stuff from old hobbies that you don't care about anymore, right? And stack that value in Bitcoin. That's how you can start stacking a little bit at a time. Okay? Do that extra hour of overtime and commit to yourself. They're gonna take that 1 hour of overtime and put that into Bitcoin. Okay? All right. So now, you can also do different things like if you have a hobby, figure out if that hobby is something you can make money with and have a little extra income. Take a little extra income, put it into Bitcoin, and next thing you know, that little Bitcoin stack is going to be big, and it's going to be worth a lot, and it could be life changing. Okay, just to be able to understand the concepts and to see that you are actually growing, and see the little bit of a ray of sunlight, a little bit of hope that the work you're doing is for something that will make you and your family and your descendants wealthier into the future. What up, McLovin in the house? Good to see you in here, dude. Welcome, Stackopaths in the house. Okay, so that is the status for today. For the 2024 stack, we spent $3,067, and if we were to buy the same amount of Bitcoin today, we'd have to spend 28% more of today's weaker dollars for a total of $3,937. Okay. For the lifespan of the show, we've been stacking since May 22nd, 2023, and we've accumulated so far 0.16 Bitcoin, which seems like nothing. It's 0.16 Bitcoin. It's not even 0.2 of a Bitcoin, but it's our 0.16 Bitcoin, or it's the show's 0.16 Bitcoin. Okay, we've started stacking $5 a day, and then sometimes we did $10 a day, sometimes we did $20 a day. And eventually we worked our way up, and now we're doing about $20 buys daily, or Monday through Friday. So since then, we've invested about $6,551 to accumulate that 16.4 million Satoshis. If we were to go and try to buy the 16.4 million Satoshis today, it would cost us 73.2% more of today's weaker dollars to buy the same amount of Satoshis, right? The dollar has lost about 73% of its purchasing power against Bitcoin since we started saving back a year ago. Okay, so that is it's going to cost us $11,347 to buy the same amount of Satoshis today that we've already bought for $6,000. Crazy, right? So the formula, the idea is working as expected. The whole idea of the show was to show that we could stack a little bit each day, and slow and steady, and it has been kind of slow, and it has been kind of steady. Slow and steady over time, the longer you hold the Bitcoin that represents the hours you've worked, it's like going back in time and giving yourself a perpetually increasing retroactive raise for the hours you've already worked, for as long as you hold that Bitcoin that represents the value of the hours you've already worked. Let's see. Are we at sub 10,000? Ah, so close. My milk is almost at sub 5-digit satoshis. Okay, this is a fun little exercise that I like to do. Back in October, I started tracking the prices of things I buy often, and in October I would have to pay $6.99 for the milk, and now back in those days, in that price, at the price of Bitcoin, I was basically having to pay 25,000 satoshis. I'm not saying that I was spending satoshis. I'm just saying if I would have paid with satoshis, it would have cost me 25,509 satoshis for that 1 gallon of milk. Well, today, at the price of Bitcoin today, it would only cost me, since the milk still costs $6.99, it's only going to cost me 10,000 satoshis. So I'm buying milk at 60% off compared to October, right? And the longer you extend that out, the cheaper life gets, the cheaper the expenses in your life get, right? Because if you're holding a lot of your value in Bitcoin, as Bitcoin appreciates and the dollar continues to get debased, your purchasing power in terms of dollars goes up if you're holding Bitcoin. Okay, so now instead of me having to spend, let's say I make $6.99 per hour in my job that somehow pays me $6.99 an hour, right? It takes an hour of my life for me to buy a gallon of milk in October. Okay, now in May? We're in June, right? June 2024. 6 months later, not even 6 months later, less than 6 months later, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. Oh yeah, more than 6 months later. Anyway, now it takes me 60% less of my life to buy that gallon of milk. So now it takes me about half an hour of my life, half an hour of labor to get that same gallon of milk. So how does that affect me? It affects me because I can now modify. And now my life is a little bit easier, or I can get more things for my hour. Okay, I can go one of two ways. I could start drinking more milk because now I can afford to drink 2 gallons of milk for the price of 1, right? Or I can take that value that I'm saving and I can apply it to a different part of my life to make my life a little bit better, right? Or if I'm happy with the way my life is and 1 gallon of milk is perfectly fine, and my level of lifestyle is something I'm happy with, then I don't have to expand. I don't have to go spend some of those sats on something else. Then it means that my level of life is satisfactory so that I can maybe work less instead of more to keep that same lifestyle. Does that make sense? So if you take that same example and you extend it out more and more over time, you'll have to work less and less if you want to maintain that level of lifestyle if you're saving in Bitcoin, okay? Whereas the opposite is if you're saving in dollars or working for the dollars and saving in dollars and trying to get ahead, trying to make more money, trying to make more paper, the prices of things may look like they're not going up, but they are, right? Because as inflation is making the prices of things go up, it's also not your salary is also not going up as fast as inflation. So you're losing on both ends. Prices of things are getting more expensive, and you're not getting a 10% raise every year that you should or that you need to make up the real rate of inflation, right? So if you save in dollars, you're not only having to pay more expensive prices, but you're also your income is measured in it, so you're making less, right? So it's kind of a bad deal, and that's what keeps you poor. You know, that's what they say. people who save in dollars are called poor, and that's the facts. This is just facts, okay? But yeah, when you save in Bitcoin, you're not doing anything extra besides buying the Bitcoin, taking custody of that Bitcoin, and it automatically, and I say magically, automatically becomes more expensive to buy Bitcoin, right? Because Bitcoin is hard to make and paper is not, and so it takes more papers to buy the same amount of Bitcoin as more people get into it, and as it just increases in value, right? So if you're holding Bitcoin, then you're automatically increasing your purchasing power, and relative to the rest of the economy that's operating in dollars, you're becoming more wealthy. It's that easy, right? It's that easy. You don't have to go and become a lawyer, a stock trader, a housing, what's it called, a real estate developer. No. Just do whatever it is you feel comfortable with, as far as like income in your life, your job, whatever job you like to do. Take some of that value, put it into Bitcoin, and that's it. That's it. Take custody of it though. Don't leave it on an exchange. Okay. Once you have your Bitcoin, once you get this bull run, it's gonna go crazy. People are gonna tell you, "Oh, your Bitcoin is worth so much now. Do you want to sell it because that way you can take profits?" Right? Well, what are you gonna take profits for? What are you gonna take profits in? Right? In paper? Are you gonna take profits in paper? No, you're trying to get out of that system. Get out of that system so you don't get robbed, right? And when the price of Bitcoin goes up, who cares? Keep buying more Bitcoin, right? And when the price of Bitcoin goes down, who cares? Keep buying more Bitcoin. Okay. What you're gonna get to understand, you're gonna get past the idea that Bitcoin is a way to make money. And you're gonna start to understand the idea that Bitcoin is a way to not get debased constantly, to have something that's actually yours for the future and that you can pass on, that's actually of value, right? And when that happens, you're going to start to see that maybe the stuff you're spending money on today is something you choose not to in the future. Okay, it'll change you that way. Okay. Anyway, so let's get back on track because I totally sidetracked about that was just a stack recap. So we're done with the stack recap. Today we're gonna buy $20 worth of Bitcoin for our dollar cost average of the show. And on top of that, we're also gonna look into our little project that we have going. It's called the 100 Stacks Challenge. It was based on a TikTok trend. It's called the 100 Envelopes Challenge, where you number a stack of envelopes or a binder with slots 1 through 100, and every day for 100 days you put in the equivalent amount of dollars into those envelopes. So for envelope 1 you put $1, for envelope 100 you put 100, 22 you put $22, right? But instead of saving dirty fiat money in an envelope like a caveman, just kidding. Doesn't even make sense. Caveman didn't have dollars. Whatever. You're gonna save in Bitcoin. You're gonna save stacks of Bitcoin of the same equivalent numbers, so that instead of inflation eating away at your cash, the Bitcoin going up in value will make your savings more potent, more purchasing power. Okay, so we are 18 days away 17 days away today. Today we're going to do another buy, so that'll lower the number to 17 days. By the time we're done with this challenge, we would have invested $5,095. You basically put $10 for the first 10 days, $11 for day 11. These are all just different buys. We did all these buys during the show, except on weekends. On weekends, I just bought. What's it called? I didn't buy this weekend actually. I need to fix that. Anyway, we'll do these buys today with a 29, 30. I need to buy for 30. Let me see. I didn't buy on. Oh man, I missed like 2 days. I missed the first and the second. Well, I need to buy anyway. I'll buy tonight. But for today, you guys get to choose if we're buying the $25 stack today or the 40. I think we did a $43 stack, didn't we? Let me see. Let me check my notes. I thought we updated these, but I'm not sure at this point. Let's see. We did. Oh yeah, we did the $25 stack on Monday. Sorry, on there it is. We did the $25 stack on Friday. Okay, so today we do the $26 stack or the $43 stack. I'll put a poll up in a second after we do our purchases. Okay, now that we know how much Bitcoin we're gonna buy, let's jump into the final segment of the show that we like to call, and it's only one thing left to do, and that is it's time to stack some sats. Carlos, I think that's an excellent point. That's an excellent point to strike invest and use the word save, because that's exactly what we're doing. We're saving in Bitcoin. I like that. And I appreciate you bringing that to my attention. Thanks, Carlos. That's a very good point. All right, boys, here we go. We're saving in Bitcoin, and today we're gonna stack $20 for the normal stack of the evening, the normal stack of the day, the weekday stack. I'll bring it up on the screen here. We're gonna do 2,000. I'm sorry, 2,000. Wow. We're gonna do $20 today for the 100 stacks challenge, and here we go. No fees. Thanks to the no fees from Swan for the first $10,000 of Bitcoin you purchase, or the last $10,000 of Bitcoin you purchase. All right. Let me get my screenshot, guys. Give me a second. Bam. Bam. Okay, got my screenshot. Bringing it in to the browser, and cutting the music. Here we go. Buying $20 worth of Bitcoin today on the Stack Sats Show, episode 230. Wow, we're getting there. 230. Okay, bring this here. There it is. Just like that, today we're able to stack an additional 286 Satoshis thanks to no fees at Swan. Oh yeah, just like that. If you want to stack over at Swan like we do here on the show, and you want to support the show, you can use my affiliate link. It's in the chat now. When you use my affiliate link, you'll get $10 worth of Bitcoin off after you make your first couple buys, I think. Boltar, does Roman pay his drummer? Let's go. I have a weak drummer. He needs to work on his drum rolls. Set number goes up is all that matters. Stack harder. Oh man. Boltar keeping it real. Keeping it real. Okay, I'm gonna put up the poll so you guys can decide if we're gonna buy what stack we're gonna buy for the 100 stacks challenge. If it's gonna be line number 26 or line number 43. Here we go. 26, 43, 100 stacks amount, question mark. Let the people choose. Let the people decide. There's an odd number of people in here, so we should have a good poll, good vote. Should we stack today on the 100 stacks challenge, $43 line or the $26 line? Let the people decide. Boltar, does Roman talk about Bitcoin in his sleep? Yes, definitely. Oh my gosh. I feel like I could, McLovin. I could. But you know what? Thanks to this show, guys. Thanks to doing this show. Thanks to being able to do this show and talking about Bitcoin all the time and having like the good feedback from you guys. My orange pill game is on point, and I feel like I can field most of the questions a beginner would have about Bitcoin with an honest, fact-based answer. So yeah, I'm feeling good. Like, if anything, besides the good stuff that this channel has besides the good things that this channel has, like, I don't know, opportunities made for me in my life, one of the things I'm most grateful for is the ability to be able to speak about Bitcoin more fluently and be able to explain it to people in different ways based on their perspective on or the current situation with finances, with Bitcoin, with security, with privacy, right? Whatever angle they feel like is more important to that person, I feel like I can make a case for Bitcoin with that. Make a case for Bitcoin that's appealing to that interest, I guess you could say. And then once they're curious about it, once they're learning about it, that's it. I already win. it's good for everybody. All right. So today, let's end the poll. Here we go. We're ending the poll, and the poll is 66% say 43, 33% say 26. The people have spoken today. We're going to stack an additional $43 for the 100 Stacks Challenge live right now during the show. Let me cue that up. There it is, $43 going in. And let me get this preview. Copy this data. Just like that. $43 for a little bit of freedom. What a deal. What a deal. How much is freedom? Right? Okay. Bring this back to the screen so you guys can see the purchase. Here we go. We're buying $43 worth of Bitcoin today on the 100 Stacks Challenge. After this purchase, we'll be 15 days away from completing the challenge. Here we go. Buying now. $43. Let it do its thing. If you have any questions for me today, put it in the chat, and we can address those towards the end of the show, towards the end of the episode. I'm going to have some commentary, some catch up, and then we'll close this baby out. But stay tuned, stay tuned. Let's get this purchase done. And there it is. We're able to stack an additional 615 Satoshis today. Woohoo! All right. Done and done. Wow. Our Bitcoin stack keeps growing. I envision Roman sleep talking and chanting, stack harder, stack up pass. We are winning. We are winning. Bro, we're winning so hard. It's unbelievable. Okay. We're winning so hard. It's good. I'm feeling really good. Okay. Today, I'm going to go back to jiu-jitsu after being out for a month and a week. A month and a week? Yeah, a month and a week. I'm not going to roll, obviously, and like get my hand rebroken. But I'm going to be able to do the drills, the warm-ups, the practice where you actually do the moves of the day. And I'll just kind of skip the hand-to-hand combat portion of it. But I'm super excited. I've been working on my grips. I've been working on being able to like close my fist. I can close my fist fully now. It feels so good. It's still look at this knuckle is lower than the rest because it got broken right here. This is what it should look like. Wait, there it is. All right, see how that one protrudes more? Well, not this one. This one's kind of like, see? It's just kind of flat. It's like a land a haymaker. But I'm excited. I'm super excited. I'll have class later today. Knock on wood, I don't get injured again. I'm gonna try not to. And oh man, I'm so excited. I can't wait. Because right before like the class before I broke my hand, I got my 4th stripe on my white belt. And after you get 4 stripes on your white belt, your next promotion is a blue belt, right? And like I've been in jiu-jitsu I'm coming up on 2 years. So I'm on the 2-year plan. I don't think it should take that long to get a blue belt, but I kept getting injured, right? And so it's just a culmination of like the perseverance of continuing to stack classes, continuing to stack sessions in the gym, and just getting wrecked, licking my wounds, healing up, and going back for more. I think even though I've had a couple broken bones at this point, overall it's made me a stronger person physically and mentally. I think I was a pretty mentally strong person to begin with, but physically I was a little bit weak. I wouldn't say soft because I've always done fight sports, but I had been out of the gym for a long time, and it definitely exposed some weaknesses in my skeletal structure. But now a lot of the stuff that could break has broken or has become stronger. And so it's not nowhere to go from here but up. So going back to jiu-jitsu tonight, it's going to be freaking awesome. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. Like, just even thinking about it gives me a little bit of an adrenaline rush. So I'm super stoked. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'll let you guys know tomorrow how sore I am. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to being sore. I'm looking forward to being just like exhausted after the class. And I'm looking forward to feeling my body the next day, how it reacts. I want to feel that tightness of like being sore and like a little bit of the pain from the delayed onset muscle soreness. I'm kind of looking forward to it. Because it means I'm doing something. You know, it means I'm improving. It means I'm growing, right? So, anyway, let me read McLevin's comment. Roman, can you believe banks are buying Bitcoin or ETFs anyway? Oh my gosh, you're crazy. It's 2 years ago. That would be totally, yeah, that's very true, McLevin. That's very true. If you would have, people were dreaming about ETFs coming out. People were dreaming about banks buying Bitcoin 2 years ago, yeah. And that was like, oh, you're dreaming, bro. Like the people that are like Bitcoin naysayers would be like, oh no, that's never gonna happen, dude. You're dreaming, right? The banks are gonna kill Bitcoin, or the government's gonna kill Bitcoin. And look at them now. They're buying it hand over fist, while the rest of the population still believes it's a bad thing to own. It's a thing for criminals. The banks and institutions that started those rumors are buying it hand over fist. Right? Wasn't that 9,000 Bitcoin a day or something like that? It's freaking wild, right? And while people are still defending that false narrative that it's bad for the environment and that only criminals use it, the people that started those narratives are stacking sats or stacking Bitcoin harder than you can ever believe. That's wild. That's very true. Very sobering, McLevin. Very true. All right, boys. Well, it's time to cue up the song. Mr. Android in the house. Round of applause from the live studio audience from Mr. Android. Mr. Android says, Australian ETF today. What? Let's go. See what I mean? See what I mean? It's crazy, right? It's only fraud. It's only fraud if you print money. It's not fraud if they print money, right? You have to have a money printer license. Monochrome ETF, is that what it's called? So Australia just came out with the ETF today. It's called Monochrome. That's all. It's wild. Okay, real quick, while I have you guys on here and we're talking about ETFs, you might be tempted to buy an ETF. Don't buy an ETF. Okay, it's good for you that the ETF exists because that's more demand on the supply of Bitcoin. But you should be buying real Bitcoin. Okay, buy real Bitcoin. Take custody of that Bitcoin. And let the ATS buy ATS with someone else's money. Okay, they can have money that's already been trapped and captured in 401ks and retirement accounts and all these pensions that can't withdraw the money until people retire, right? So that money is trapped anyway. That's what they're using it to buy ETFs and stuff. For you, if you have the cash, just buy the Bitcoin itself and take custody of that Bitcoin. Okay, with all that demand coming in, eventually, if all these institutions are not actually buying paper Bitcoin, if they're buying the real deal, then their custodian is going to have to go out into the real world and buy Bitcoin from the real Bitcoin network, and in so doing pump the price of your stack. Okay, so make sure you buy the real deal. Don't buy ETFs, but it's kind of good for us that the ETFs exist because that means there's more money coming into the Bitcoin ecosystem. It's not even 8 a.m. yet in Australia, but price could go up. Let's go. All right, so hopefully it pumps. Hopefully it pumps. All right, boys. That is all I got for you guys today on this episode of the Stack Sats Show. We'll be back here tomorrow talking about a different facet of this Bitcoin that we love to stack. And keeping it beginner friendly, stacking sats Monday through Friday here. And hope you guys have a great rest of the day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. But until then, remember, if you ain't stacking, you're slacking. Invite your friends for next time, guys, and share the content, like it, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Later.